So if it's comfortable to kneel, we'll kneel, otherwise in your cross-legged position. And we're just going to place our left hand on our lap and then our right hand on top, and we're just gently touching the tips of the thumbs together. And we'll see if we can sit nice and upright. So if you want to do a bit of a cat-cow and just find the nicest position for your spine, where you feel most upright, so you can almost reach the crown of the head upwards towards the ceiling. Maybe tuck the chin in a little bit if you have a tendency to jet the chin forward. Maybe the shoulders might want to roll back and down a little, and then elbows out to the sides instead of being tucked in, just a little away from the body. So just nice and upright. And we're going to close our eyes and we're just going to stay here for a minute or so. So we're just going to take a bit of time to just check in on how we're feeling, how our body's feeling. Take a bit of time to start slowing our breath and just tune inwards. So closing our eyes. If you like to, you can just start with a body scan. Maybe noticing anywhere that your attention is drawn to. So it could be the front of the feet getting a bit of a stretch. Could be somewhere like your maybe core muscles or upper back. So just seeing wherever your mind wanders and just notice how everything's feeling. And without making any stories about anything or going too in detail about anything. So you can just notice without getting too carried away or lost with your thinking. And just start noticing how you're feeling, maybe emotionally, energetically, so you're feeling quite sleepy, quite awake, ready to move. So it doesn't matter what you're feeling, just notice. And then with how you're feeling, just start noticing how you're breathing. So you should breathe in quite shallow, quite fast, quite slow and full. And just link that into how you're feeling. And then we're just going to start to slow your breathing down. So we can breathe in and out through your nose. We'll breathe in and out through the nose. And just take a really full breath in. And then a really slow breath out. And then again, nice slow breath in. And then a nice slow breath out. And just keep breathing nice and slowly in your own pace. So without kind of struggling to, or if you're holding or not getting enough air in, so no kind of struggle feeling. So just nice and slow, relaxed. Continue breathing nice and slowly and fully. So we're going to be using a few different mudras today. So hand positions or gestures or marks or seals. And mainly today as kind of focus or intention points, which you'll see as we come along. So this one is Dhyana Mudra that we're doing, or meditation mudra. And it supports effortless meditation. This one Buddha was meant to have used during his enlightenment as well. So if you do want to, you can set an intention for the class ahead yourself. And it could be anything from staying more with your breath, or maybe taking it a bit easier today. And then we'll just slowly start to open our eyes. And then we're just going to take your time to move onto all fours. So wherever we're sat, or on if we're kneeling or sat on the floor, just slowly lift up, and we'll bring, if you've got a blanket underneath you, you might want to move it out the way. Just get comfortable so the hands are underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. So spreading the weight nicely through the hands. Just going to inhale, lift the head, tailbone and chest, and let the middle kind of sink down. Just see how the back of the body's feeling. And then on the exhale, let's push down into the hands, into the knees, front of the feet, and round your back upwards, tucking the chin under. And again, you can notice how your back's feeling. So we're going to do quite a bit of work for the back body as well, but with some front stretches as well to kind of neutralise in between. So inhale, let's lift the tailbone, chest. Exhale as you round the opposite way. So just keep going in your own breathing pace again. So if you want to go slower or faster, if you want to move in different ways too, and maybe explore different areas, it doesn't have to just be the front and the back. We're feeling, we might be just really noticing how the arms and the shoulders or the wrists, the neck. So on the next breath out then, let's bring your spine somewhere in between the two, the cat and the cow, and just keep drawing your belly in and up and lift out the shoulders a little too. So on the next inhale, let's come onto our right tiptoe, so just lifting the right knee and just start to push back into the right heel. Just notice how the back of the right leg feels. And also the front of the right leg, so the quads maybe working, the back calf, the hamstrings maybe feeling a bit of a stretch there. Keep pressing into the floor with the hands. You may even want to like rock slightly, so like just press back a little bit and forward. So just take one more breath in here. We're going to sit down for another fold or back stretch. So we're going to exhale, we're going to drop our left hip to the side. Our right foot's going to spin around, the left foot's going to come in. We're just going to sit down and start to make little circles with our spine. So you may want to adjust your legs first before you start circling. So just get this left foot comfortable, left knee, you might want to support it. The right leg as well, you might want to turn the toes upwards or bend the knee to make it easier on the back line by bending. Or sit up on a pillow as well, that's another option. As soon as you get comfortable in your seated position, just going to make these circles. And as you're making the circles, notice what's going on with your body. So how is each position feeling? What's happening with this right leg as you're circling? Is it kind of moving out to the sides and coming back to centre? And is that just because we're avoiding the stretch by keeping it upright, maybe more intense down the back of that right leg, hamstrings? Or is it just we feel like moving it to the side each time? And then change directions with the circles. Arms wherever comfortable. If you want to circle them, circle the head and neck. So just, or just fingers might just rest slightly on the floor. So we're going to take a fold over the right leg. So as inhale, we'll come back up. On the exhale, we're going to kind of lean or twist to the right. Let's turn the toes upwards, and we'll just we'll stop wherever we feel a stretch. So it could be more on that left side, back. Maybe more in this right underneath leg, and then you just try and get comfortable. So relax the shoulders down rather than really kind of using the arms to pull you in. And just take your time to melt down more and more as our body opens. So you may want to be a bit active in this right leg by turning the toes towards you, maybe lifting the kneecap or pushing the knee down, maybe to engage the quads. It may help release the back of the leg a bit more as well. That reciprocal inhibition. So drawing the shoulders away. Head where is comfortable as well. You can relax the eyes. Just come back with a slow breath. Okay, so another breath in. On the exhale, we'll slowly lift ourselves back up, so brace as we roll out. And then the left hand behind us, before we come back onto all fours, we just lift the hips. So left hand behind us, left knee pushes into the floor, right foot. The right hand's going to reach overhead as we push the hips through. And just a nice front stretch after that forward fold. As soon as we want to move on, we'll come onto all fours, but keeping the right leg straight behind us. So we can drop our right hand back down and then our left hand back down, is it? Right leg's nice behind us where we started. So we've got a little bit more challenging for the puppy dog. So if we'd rather bring the right knee back in, it makes it more stable. Bring the right leg back in. Otherwise, we're going to keep the right leg stretched out behind us. The hands are going to start to walk out in front. And as we reach more forward, we want to start to lower the chest towards the floor to find the more stretch underneath the shoulders, armpits. And if we're kind of shifting our weight to the left, or left hip swing to the side to help with our balance here, if you want to work a bit harder, see if we can almost push that left hip more so it's then on top of the left knee. And it'll make it quite a lot stronger in that right leg, maybe hands, arms, to support this far-reaching position. Head can, if there's space, you can rest it on the floor, or even go chin, chest as well. So just notice if that left hip scooping to the side to help you balance there. See if you can just bring it more central. Feel the difference. Right leg might be working as well to help balance. You might be feeling that. If it's painful for the shoulders or elbows, just come to standard puppy or come up or back onto all fours. So from there, then let's slowly press back into the hands, lift the chest a little, and then bring the right knee back underneath, and then drag your hands back so we're on our hands and knees again. So just do one last set of cat-cows. So inhale, we can lift the chest, and then exhale, let's go the opposite way. If you want to rock or anything as well, anytime. So inhale, lift the chest, so really draw the shoulders back, and then exhale. So 2 more, inhale, exhale, and then the final time. And then on that exhale, and we'll just bring your spine somewhere in between the cat and the cow. So bracing, and inhale, let's come onto our left hip dome, and then push back into the left heel. If you want to make little rocking movements, you can always push back, or just stay pushing into the hands. So as if we're almost as if we're trying to lift into down dog, we're not really lifting into down dog. So that pushing back, so that trying to draw the heel to the floor behind us. From there, then we're going to let our hips drop to the right. Left foot's going to swoop upwards towards the ceiling. We're just going to slowly sit down. As soon as we sit down, we start making the circles. If you do need to adjust the legs first, adjust the legs and then start circling. So if you want to support the right knee with the block, sit higher. So if our pelvis is rocked back, and then it's like a lot of core to circle, just sit up on top of something, or pick yourself up and let your pelvis rock there. And same with this left leg, you may need to bend the left knee if you feel too much stretch in the left leg. Okay, so just circling and noticing, changing directions. If you want to start circling the head as well, some nice stretches in the neck. Okay, and then we're going to take the folds over the left leg. So we're going to twist to face the left leg. So inhale, we can lift and lengthen, and then exhale, start to fold towards it. Remember, the left knee can stay bent. You can even put a block under the knee if it feels too much of a pull down the back of the left leg. Otherwise, you can always straighten it and be more upright, and then just take our time opening. So you might want to flex the foot again, be more active in that left leg. So whatever we're feeling the stretch really in that underneath left leg, or right, maybe right side, right hip, and the back of the body. So it doesn't matter if we're looking all in different positions. Just go by what you're feeling in your body. So no pain at all throughout. Anything that doesn't feel right, just come out of it, and then see if you can maybe find a place for your body that does feel right. So releasing tension in the neck and shoulders. Okay, so take that little back bend. So just inhale, exhale, start to roll ourselves up. We can either just stay upright here, and otherwise the right hand can come behind us. We can push into the right hand, right knee, and right foot can maybe turn to the side a little as you lift the hips up. Left hand can reach overhead and arch your spine, or just find a stretch maybe in that front left hip that we were just compressing. And we'll be spinning back over the right leg, keeping the left leg straight behind us. So you're just dropping the hand down, and then left leg's back behind. So we're in that puppy dog. Remember, left knee can step in, and we can just reach the hands forward there. Otherwise, you can keep the left leg far away, and then start to walk the hands out, and slowly start to lower the chest down. Maybe forehead meets the floor. It might not meet the floor, so don't worry. And if you're scooping the hips to the right, So you can even look at underneath at your leg and see what you're doing. If you want to work that little extra, pull that right hip or outer right hip in, or hip over the knee, and then start to melt down, and just notice you have to work a little bit harder in that position. Keep bracing. It's quite strong here. Make sure this is not overdoing it in the shoulders. The head resting down can help as well. Make sure you're not overdoing the pressing in the head or the neck or anything like that. Okay, and then from there we'll push into the hands to lift up a little bit. Bring the left knee back in if you've reached it out, and then slide the hands back in. So on all fours. Inhale. On the exhale, tuck our toes under. We'll just start to push the floor away and slowly lift the knees, and just see how the arches of the feet feel. So it's part of the back line. So we've got a line of fascia that runs from the back of the feet all the way to the front of the forehead. So restrictions in one area can cause kind of restrictions or in further up the line. So say for example we're having difficulty forward folding, it could be even to do with the bottom of the feet. So you can stretch that, just notice how the toes, arches, feet feel. And then we'll start to lift our hips into downward facing dog. And then noticing the back line more here, so if you keep the knees quite soft, push back into hands, try and find length in your spine, lift the hips up. Then we'll start to press one heel down and notice the change in stretch. So as we straighten the knee, we find more stretch in the back of that right leg, and we can bend the knee and straighten out the other one. Just notice the change now in the back of the left leg. So by bending the knees kind of slackens the back line. So that's why it's less, you get less sensation when we have our knees bent in the back of the legs. And even more sensation as we start to straighten. Bit of a fold in this down dog. So let's bring the legs back to centre, so we've bent one or the other, so both legs the same. And then exhale, we'll push into the feet, lift the hips and ripple forward into either a full plank or a kneeling plank with the hands underneath the shoulders. So your body's in between cat-cow pretty much. Inhale. Exhale, let's lift the hips and come high onto tiptoes again. And push backwards into your down dog. So whether you need to bend the knees or whether the legs are straight, it doesn't matter. So it's inhale, lift and roll forward into your plank. And then exhale, let's lift and push back into your down dog. So just try and find a place where you can really lengthen your spine. And then last one, inhale, lift and way forward into a plank. Pushing through the arms here as well. And then exhale, lift and push back into your down dog. So you're going to lie down now on this one. So inhale, lift and roll forward into your plank. And then tuck your elbows in. Use your knees if you like to lower. Try and keep your body like a plank now as we lie down onto our front. And then from there, we're going to bring our hands underneath the shoulders for cobra and tuck the toes. Inhale, now lift the chest off the floor. And so you can find space between the shoulders and the ears and the neck. And remove some tension there. And then exhale, let's lower ourselves back down. So if that felt good, maybe come in a bit deeper. So inhale, we can lift. So I would stay with this option. Otherwise you can push into the hands and we'll find a bit more stretch in the front body. And then exhale, let's lower. So any amount. So don't worry if we're just working the muscles of the back and not stretching our front. So inhale, we can come straight back up to the amount we want to. So you might not get a stretch in the front if we're staying low. Maybe just feel a nice work in the muscles in the back body. So don't worry too much. Inhale, exhale, lower. So just as long as we're doing what's right for our bodies, that's the main thing. And then slowly last time, then we can lift up as much as we like. Inhale, and draw the chin back. And then exhale, squeeze the elbows in. Exhale, let's lower ourselves back onto our front. So let's tuck our toes under, either press onto our knees or we'll take a full push up. So let's inhale, let's come into a plank. And then exhale, let's lift the hips and press backwards into downward facing dog. So let's keep the left foot on the floor, and then we'll stretch the back of the left leg a bit more now. So we reach the right foot to the back of the mat and then directly up in the air behind. So we can keep turning the toes down, and then in time push in further into the left leg. So notice now with the split, the position of the legs, so you get an intense more intense stretch in the supporting one. Keep spreading the weight nicely through the hands, keep winding through the shoulders, lifting the hips. So one more inhale, we'll come off the hands, and then exhale, let's step the right foot to the inside of the right hand. So try and lift the foot to step in, okay? Doesn't matter if it doesn't quite get there, so inhale. Exhale, we're going to push down into the right foot. Now left knee on the floor easier, otherwise keep it in the air. We'll push into your right foot and then roll up into a standing lunge. So the knees over the ankle at the front and bend the elbows. We can inhale, reach the hands up. Feet hip width as well. If we feel a bit wobbly, bring the right foot a bit more out to the side. So if we're on a tight rope, it will feel a bit more unstable there. So we're going to bring our hands, palms together, and bring our hands in front of our chest into Anjali Mudra. And then from here, we're going to keep the elbows out to the side, roll the shoulders back and down. You might feel it, or draw them back, and you might feel a bit of a stretch in the front shoulders and chest. You may not feel it there, maybe just in that left thigh or right leg might be feeling working. So we're either going to keep our hands here, or we're going to do this in reverse, reverse prayer behind our backs. So if we're going for the reverse option, we're going to bring our fingertips together behind us, and then we're just going to turn the fingers upwards to face our head, and then slide the hands up our back, and then start to close the palms by bringing the elbows towards each other. It's a bit more intense stretch in the front shoulders and chest. Otherwise stick with the hands in front. So whichever option we feel. If we want to add on a bit more of a back bend and more pull in the front, we can start to lift the chest up and maybe start to almost lean back. But we don't want any pain in the lower back, so just stay upright if we do feel anything a bit dodgy there. Keep bending the front knee over the ankle, maybe sink in a little deeper, front leg more parallel to the floor. Warrior 3 coming up. On the exhale, we're going to start to lean out over the front leg. Easier, we can come into a standing forward fold and then lift the chest halfway up. Otherwise, we're going to reach our chest forward. If you need to let go of the hands at any point, let go. As we reach our chest forward, we get weightless in that left foot. Start to push into your right leg as we lift the left leg up in the air behind us, and try and really find that nice place for our spine. Keep squeezing the shoulders together, or roll the shoulders back. Neck staying long, left leg reaching back like what we did on all fours at the start. We can really flex the foot, push the heel away. As soon as we need to rest, just come into a forward fold or step back into lunge then. We do it, don't worry if we're... Ooh. Okay, so from there then, slowly let go, step back into your lunge, and then we just walk ourselves round into a wide leg fold. And we'll just shake off by swaying side to side. Remember, easier, higher, come higher, away from the legs. So the more we bring our folded towards the legs, obviously flexing the hips, the more intense stretch, so easier just coming your body away from the legs. So just checking the feet, so maybe hop the heels in line. Might want to pick them up and then replace them where it feels good, maybe slightly inwards. You may need to keep the knees a little bent, and then on the exhale we're going to start to fold more and more and more in towards the legs until you feel the stretch in the back of the legs, inner thighs. So notice the difference, or what we're stretching here. So not just the back line, as the feet are apart, a bit more inner thighs too. So just go. You may want to start a bit easier than you know you can fold. This is still maybe warming up a little. So you walk the hands more underneath in time, or bring your body through. If you're leaning back into the heels, just keep shifting the hips more in between the feet. And then from there, let's slowly back off a little bit. So you just inhale. And then exhale, let's walk our hands round again, so we're facing the foot that we step forward. So I think it's the right foot. So walking the hands back, so we're facing the front of the mat, and then we'll step backwards into downward facing dog. So get the weight into the hands and press back. Okay, so take a vinyasa, otherwise just stay put for the other side. So what we practiced earlier, by we keep rolling forward into our planks. So we inhale to do this. Exhale as we lie down for cobra. If you know up dog, feel free to go for up dog if you fancy that. Otherwise, cobra that we practiced, any amount of cobra, inhale. And then exhale, let's press backwards into downward facing dog. If you want to use your knees for the pushes, feel free to use your knees. Just keep the right foot on the floor this time, and inhale, let's reach the left foot back and up. Keep pushing back into the hands, and take your time to deepen the stretch in the underneath leg. Widen through the shoulders, spread the weight through the hands, lifting that back leg up. So left leg nice and high. On the exhale, let's step the left foot to the inside of the left hand. So remember, if it doesn't quite get there, you can reach for it and then just pull it forward. Bend the right knee or rest the knee on the floor if you prefer to take it a bit easier. On the exhale, let's slowly roll up into standing lunge. So bend the elbows, inhale, reach the hands up. If you want to slightly bend the back knee or keep the hip bones there forward rather than pointing down and maybe feeling a bit pain in the lower back. And then the option then is to add the back bend. So you can bring the hands in front of us into Anjali Mudra, we can stay there, or we can bring them into the reverse behind our backs. And then bringing the fingertips together and then closing the palms, rolling the shoulders back. Okay, so if you want to, you can lift the chest and maybe lean to the deeper stretch with the front body. Keep bending the front knee over the ankle, keep sinking maybe. So Anjali Mudra, the intention or focus point to draw the senses inwards or to compose ourselves, come back, recenter. So keep making sure we're feeling good. Inhale and come back to maybe our intention we started with. So exhale, we'll lean over the front leg for warrior 3. Start to reach our chest forwards, get weightless in that back foot. Push into your left foot to straighten the left leg and lift the right leg in the air. Now easier, just come into a standing forward fold and then lift the chest halfway like we did in between the cat-cow. Otherwise we'll go for the right leg in the air. Keep kicking the right heel away. Try and almost squeeze the hips together, or inner thighs together. So if we're shooting our left hip to the left, like what we felt maybe in that puppy dog, see if we can almost draw the outer hip to the centre line of our body. When you're ready to land the foot bar behind you and undo the hands, and then take your time to walk and shake off in your wide leg fold. So higher up easier, adjust the feet, and then exhale, we'll fold back in towards the legs. So again, nice back stretch, back of the body, inner thighs. The same with the warrior 3, even though it might not seem like a bit of a fold, it kind of is a bit of a forward fold. So our body's like halfway kind of folded, that left leg might have just been feeling a nice stretch. Just calm our breathing down, so forward folds are nice and calming. Okay, and then inhale, let's lift our chest. Exhale, let's walk our hands back around the foot we stepped forward, so I think it's our left foot. And then exhale, we'll step backwards into downward facing dog and just shake off there. So either come straight back into child's pose, or we'll take a vinyasa and then end up in child's pose. So if we fancy a vinyasa, we can roll into our planks. Breathing in, breathe out to lower down for cobra. Inhale, cobra. And then exhale, we'll rest in child's pose. Okay, so our first child's pose really. So just noticing how it feels. You're going to rest the head on the floor. If you want to drop the arms behind you or keep reaching them forward. If you want to rock side to side. And just take another, say, 3 breaths here. Just bringing everything back down a bit. We move on. Okay. So on the next inhale, let's lift back up on our hands and on our knees. Okay. On our exhale, let's bring our spine in between the cat and the cow. So maybe tucking under or drawing your belly in and up. Lifting out the shoulders, lengthen the neck. Inhale, then let's reach our right foot to the back of the mat. like we did before, coming onto your right tiptoes. And on the next breath out then, let's lift the left knee upwards as high as you can towards the chest. So really draw it up, so you're almost rounding your back up like the cat-cow. And then inhale, we can drop the knee down, maybe even arch the other way. Harder, just hover the knee. Exhale again, we can maybe do a bit of a cat, is it cat? Yeah, cat as we bring the knee under. And then inhale as we rest the left knee, we might all hover the knee maybe. So we'll do 2 more. Exhale as we really round our back up and bring the left knee under, try and brace. And then inhale as we rest the knee or hover. And then final one, then exhale as we bring the knee up. And then inhale as we drop the knee down. So we're going to be lifting the knee up really high in order to step the foot where the knee is. So instead of stepping the foot in between the hands, we're going to be stepping the foot with that a little bit back where the knee is. So on the exhale, we're going to push into the hands, round up, and see if we can step the foot where the knee just was. So it's a bit away from the hands. So feet about hip width though. So it's a shorter lunge stance, because we'll be moving into warrior 1. So let's bend the right knee, inhale, push down into your left foot, breathe out, let's roll up to stand. Okay, and then bend the elbows, inhale, reach the hands, we can go a bit wider and see if we can drop the right heel down. If it doesn't go down, it could be, my calves are very tight, so if it's not going down, you can always hop it in a little bit narrower, and then on the next one, maybe step the foot a little bit further away. So see if we can draw the heels down, we get a bit more stretch then in the calf, or the back of that, the hind leg. We're going to take a Kali Mudra, so we're going to make a pistol kind of grip with the hand, so you can bring your right thumb on top of the left, and the first 2 fingers together, and then interlacing the others, and then pointing the hands upwards towards the ceiling. So from here, we can keep bending the left knee over the ankle, so we can keep straightening that right leg. And if we feel a bit funny in the back knee, try and turn the back foot in, or not try and pull the hips centrally, and just focus on turning the chest forward. So we don't want to feel strain in that back knee. So we're going to be moving into pyramid, so similar to warrior 3 with our spine to start with. So we're going to push into that left foot and start to straighten out the left leg. Remember, we can be more upright to make it easier. Instead of locking the left knee, just going to keep it a little soft, but the leg staying straight. Right heel staying pressing down. On the exhale now, we're going to keep reaching forward. So try and point to shoot the pistol. Reach as far as you can, but just stop if you need to stop higher, stop. If it gets too much stretch. So it's quite intense on the legs, the hamstrings. So really push the left foot forward, right heel away. Keep reaching the hands forward, keep lengthening your spine like a warrior 3. If you need to use your hands on the floor for support or on blocks, you'll come back up anytime. So Kali Mudra, so Kali, the goddess of purification, so ridding limiting beliefs. So believe here maybe that this is intense and we want to come out of it. No, we can do this, we're strong. It's a reminder of your strength, overcoming challenges. So now if you want a deeper fold, we're going to drop the hands down and maybe take the same grip underneath the legs. If we'd rather use the hands or bend the knee if we need to make it easier. If you'd rather use your hands for balance, feel free to use your hands. A little bit longer here, we can shoot the back foot with the hands underneath and keep bringing the chin towards the shin for a deeper stretch. So pyramid pose, a big stretch on the back of the legs. Okay, wide leg forward bend coming up. So you can slowly bend the front leg, let's bring the hands to the ground, and then start to swivel ourselves around and maybe sway from side to side. So if you want to just bend one leg, bend the other, come a little bit higher, just to loosen off there. Okay, so we've got another stretch, coming at the big one. So let's bend the knees and inhale. We're going to roll up to stand from here. Push down into the feet, breathe out, wide leg, then just rolling all the way up. Just keep the arms dangling till we get to the top and then drop the shoulders back, lift the head up last. Let's turn the heels inwards and toes out to the point our knees are going to go. So you may end up all the way to the side, you may need to bring them in slightly. And then let's bring the first finger and thumb together, like you're pincering, and just gently touch them. And then the other 3 fingers, just tuck them in. Going to reach the hands out, we'll turn the fingers down towards the floor. Start to open the knees and slowly come into a goddess pose. So it's a bit confusing sometimes which way round chin mudra. Some people, when I've researched, it's been upwards with the 3 or with the palms and that's essentially that's Nana Mudra or Jnana Mudra, however you pronounce it. That was chin. So, but generally upwards is more energizing, downwards is more calming. So we're going to go for the calming, and we'll go for this one being chin mudra, which is surrendering to what is. So this may be quite intense, so you can just go with it. It's all fine. We'll survive this squat, and help bring calmness and silence to the mind. So even though this is strong, so you can breathe, keep bracing, keep sitting, keep drawing the shoulders back and down, try and release tension and maybe building up. Keep pulling the knees apart. Okay, and then from there, let's slowly push into the legs and straighten. Relax the arms, inhale. Exhale, we're going to fold back towards the legs and spin over the front foot that we stepped forward. I think it's at the left foot this time, and then stepping backwards into down. So we're facing the front mat, facing the usual way. So we'll take a vinyasa if you like to. If not, just stay put for the other side or onto all fours for the other side. So we can inhale, roll forward into a plank. Exhale, let's lower to cobra. Inhale in new cobra. And then exhale, let's lower. So as inhale, let's push into your plank. And then exhale, let's drop the knees down so we're on all fours. So as inhale, let's reach the left foot to the back of the mat. Hands on the shoulders. Exhale, let's cat-cow almost. Let's bring the right knee under. Try and lift the right knee as high as you can. Rounding your back upwards. And then inhale, hover the knee or just rest the knee down. So another 3. Exhale, let's push down as the hands really brace. Lift the knee upwards. And then inhale, rest the knee. And lift the chest. So do 2 more. Exhale, push down and round up. Inhale, drop the knee, lift the chest. And then last one, exhale, drive the knee upwards, really brace, keep the shoulders over the hands, and then inhale as you rest. So we'll be stepping the foot. Remember, depending on our calves, we might have a bit of a narrower step. The right foot with the right knee is, or maybe a bit further back. So on the exhale, let's lift, and then place the foot on the floor. From there then, we can lean backwards, bend the back knee, breathe in. Breathe out, let's slowly roll up into a narrow lunge. You might need to wiggle the right foot more wide, so the feet are more hip width. Bend the back leg, and then we'll drop the left heel down. Really push the heel into the floor. Back foot turned inward. Just really engaging our back leg, just trying to straighten the knee, and we're turning our chest forward. Just take the pistol grip again. Reaching the hands outwards, keep bending the knee, lift the chest. You want to even add a bit of a back bend there. It's a bit of a back bend here anyway. You can always increase that and reach further back. So just seeing how the back of that left leg's feeling, the calf, the thigh, maybe to try and keep it straight. This front thigh may not be working as much as it does in lunge, because if you need a narrower stance, it's not so intense there. So on the exhale, coming into your pyramid, so let's pull the hips back, or start to push into that right foot to straighten the right leg without locking the knee. From there then, we're going to keep reaching the hands forward and just stop. If you need to rest the arms, just bring the hands onto hips. Otherwise, we'll keep reaching the arms out, keep the arms strong. Keep pointing the fingers forward, and imagine your back is like a warrior 3. So you might want to do a cat-cow to find it's the nicest place. And if you kind of swoop in the hip to the right or left, you might want to, generally right, maybe pull the hip in, or almost right hip back, left hip forward. Really push into that front foot. Ouchie on those shoulders, mine are definitely feeling it. From there then, we'll increase the stretch by folding more. So if you want to, you can let go, hands on the floor, or carry on pointing the Kali Mudra, reaching the hands back towards the back leg, bringing the chin more to the shin. Try and spread the weight nicely through the right foot as well, and the back foot, really trying to draw that heel down. Just slowing your breath, making it softer, maybe a bit wobbly. Lengthening that underneath leg. When you're ready to move on, we'll come into our wide leg fold. So you can bend, let go, bend the knee, and then just swivel around and maybe shake off side to side again. So you're bending one leg, bend straighten the other, bend the other, straighten the other. So one more goddess. So let's bend the knees and breathe in. Push down into the feet, breathe out, let's lift up. And then roll the shoulders back, lift the head up last. We're almost there as well, we'll be bringing it down soon. So if you feel you want to go deeper here, we'll go sit a bit lower. So turn the toes out, heels in, toes to where that we can pull the knees to. And again, we'll take the same mudra, so finger and thumb together, the 3 fingers, other 3, and then we'll reach the hands to the side. So try and keep your posture nice and upright, so rolls nice and upright, try and keep nice and upright, and just imagine you're doing an elevator and then lowering yourself down rather than leaning forward there, or I suppose it's quite hard to lean back, but if you do tend to, if you are feeling your lower back is like not liking it, try and play around with tucking under maybe a little bit, or pulling the ribs in a little, or lengthening the spine a little. So if you've got loads of energy, sit a bit lower, keep pulling the knees open. And just find that calmness in this intense pose. Steadiness, so soften your breath. Feel the weight nicely through the feet. So if you tend to roll, the knees are rolling and might be rolling to the big toe side, so try and maybe open more or roll more to the little toe side. How are these legs doing? A bit more. When you're ready to move on, we'll be moving on. This is the last bit, so if you've got loads of energy, keep holding. I'm not sure how we're doing. Looks like we're going strong there though. Yeah. Looks like you'd stay there all day. No. Okay, let's slowly come back up. Yeah, you can. Shake off the arms, shake the legs. Let's come back into your fold and then start to walk the hands round so we're facing the front. Inhale, exhale, step backwards into downward facing dog. If you want to give the legs a shake or anything as well. So take our final vinyasa. Otherwise just stop, stay here or rest in child's pose while we move. So inhale, come into your planks. Exhale, let's lower, try and keep your body like a plank now as we lower. Inhale, let's lift up to cobra. So chin, so we can really draw the head back. And then exhale, let's lower ourselves back onto our front. So we're going to come straight into downward facing dog. So as inhale, let's move into plank. Exhale, lift the hips into your down dog. So inhale, let's lift high onto tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, look for a walk step, or if you fancy a hop. Anyway, we're going to get to the front of the mat. When we get there, we can inhale, lift the chest up halfway. So like the warrior 3 again, with the spine, shoulders back, neck long. Exhale, we'll bend the knees as much as we need to, we just start to fold in towards the legs. So if you want to stay more upright, if you want to bend the knees, you can keep supporting, you can keep a flat back if you want to. And just see how the backs of each leg feel in this position compared to the wide leg position. So if we have a bit more open, maybe hamstrings, calves, this one might feel a bit nicer than the wide leg if you've got more tense inner thighs. Or if you've got more open inner thighs than hamstrings, maybe the wide leg felt a bit easier. So this is more of a direct stretch down the back line. Again, just keeping the weight nicely through the feet, so we have a tendency to roll inside, so we can spread the weight. Press down into the big toe, little toe, centre of the heel, and always lift the arches or widen through the sit bones. So from here we're going to come into a little squat position. So we can just lean forward a little onto the tiptoes, we lift high onto tiptoes, and then bend the knees and slowly bring our hips down towards the heels. From there then, let's open out the knees and just slowly fold in deeper. So we do a nice arm balance, always nice to balance on the hands. So if you'd rather not though, you can turn the hands upside down and then just stay with this, maybe inner thigh stretch or back stretch. Otherwise we'll move into crow, so placing the palms back down the way you do with your presses. Knees against the sides of the arms, try and squeeze them in, lift the hips, reach the chest forward. So just like we did in Warrior 3, as you lean as far forward, the back leg becomes weightless. So as we reach the chest more and more forward, but keep bracing at the same time, the feet may become more off the floor. And then otherwise, if that doesn't happen, just start by lifting up one and then the other, and then we'll get used to that. So a lot of it also is fear, because if we've not done this before and we're like, oh, we're going to just fall forward, we think we're going to fall forward. But which we may fall forward at the start, but if just take it easy with pillows. But it's also like working using the fingertips, hold hands. If you overdo it, push back into the fingers. So just go slowly and sensitively. Okay, so from there then, let's bring the hands behind knees in, and L sit or sit down. So if you want to, maybe hovering in L sit, otherwise just lower your hips onto the ground. Anyway, so another fold then, let's sit nice and upright or sit onto a pillow. So our pelvis is, rather than pointing, hip bones pointing up, I'm going to try and tip them forward there. Let's bring the hands by our sides for Dandasana and push into the hands and draw the shoulders back and down, active through the legs. You can flex the feet and engage the thighs. Instead, if you're like me, my knees hyperextend and my heels lift like that, you can just bring the heels back down and still be active through the legs. Keep bracing, find that nice position for your spine, keep lifting and reaching the head upwards there. Okay, so from this lift we can stay here, and we might even get us a bit of a stretch here as well. So if we can always hold still and be active here. Otherwise we can take the weight off the hands, bend the elbows, inhale, reach the hands out, try and reach as high up as possible. And now we're going to tip our pelvis even more to initiate the fold and just start to fold over the legs. And instead of using the arms to really try and pull yourself in, you can just relax the shoulders down. You can use the hands a little to bring you in, but without really tensing the neck and shoulders there. Otherwise the hands by your side. You might want to take a few breaths, lifting, inhaling, exhaling, folding. Each inhale lifts, each exhale folds further, or just staying still. Bend the knees as well. If it feels too intense, remember that bending the knees will slacken the back line, so it will make it less intense. But go to the point where you're still getting a stretch in the hamstrings, so that will allow us to fold more and maybe feel a more stretch in the back body. Still get length in maybe the areas that we might need to open. So just calm, hold. We've got one last challenge, which would be to try and come into a forward fold from this position, seated. Window. Okay, so we'll see what happens. So we'll bring our hands back onto the floor. So as we're folding in, as we're folding, hands on the floor, we're going to just try and lift our hips up and pull our hips far behind us as we fold in even closer. So we'll inhale, prepare. On the exhale, push the floor away, lift the hips. Either stay there or try and drive the hips behind us. Come into our forward fold and then back down. So we'll do 3 more of them and always stay with the stretch. So on the exhale, we'll push down. Let's see if we can lift our hips and then try and really drive them into the air behind. Always there. A lot easier with blocks. Inhale. More height there. So 2 more. Exhale, let's bend the elbows, push down, try and lift. Try and pull the hips back. Fold. And then lower. Inhale, final one. That was those quads and hip flexors. Let's pull the hips back. And slowly, I know about that then. One more fold though, we got boat. So we're gonna lean back. Easier now, the legs can stay on the floor and then reach the hands out in front. Otherwise we can lean back even more, feet may come up, lifting the legs, or even go for a straight leg boat. So the legs have just been working a lot, so it may feel quite challenging, more than usual on the quads, hip flexors. Keep drawing your belly in harder, you can reach the hands up as well. You stay there. Breathe. Shoulders back, off, head in a nice place. We'll be lying down from here, so as soon as you're ready to move on, let's keep going. We'll be slowly controlling ourselves down whenever you're ready to, but if you've got loads of energy, just keep going a bit longer. If you want to, maybe take in Nana, Mudra, focus, one point of concentration, clarity. You guys can keep going, doing really good. Nice, well done. And then resting on our backs. Okay. So let's bring the feet about mat width for a nice easy twist to kind of neutralise after these intense folds. So keeping them quite wide, we're going to just like windscreen wipers to drop one knee to the middle, one knee outside. So if you can keep the shoulders on the floor, so if you want to go for an E shape with the arms as well, but it's not too much for the chest. You might get a bit of a pull there. So exhale, let's drop the left knee to the left, right knee to the right. Oh, don't worry which way you go. You might get a nice stretch in the front of that right thigh or hip. Okay, and then on the next breath out then, brace it a little, we'll bring the legs back to centre and inhale when we get there. On the exhale, let's drop the knees the opposite direction and keep the shoulders down. And then we just pause here. If anyone's feeling it's a bit weird on the knees or anything, you can always just lift the knees higher or change the position. Maybe bring the knees more together or not do the windscreen wiper. To a bit more of a twist, standard twist. Okay, and then inhale. On the exhale, then just push into the feet, maybe to lift the knees back up. And then bring the feet in towards you. Just take a breath in. On the exhale, then we'll start to press your lower back down into the floor and peel up into shoulder bridge. Again, a nice little back bend after those folds. Open the front body, work in the back again. So any variation, if you do want to interlace the hands, if you want to come into an upward facing bow, or just see how you feel, or just stay here. Hands if you need to change the position of them if it's uncomfortable, because we always keep them in the E shape. So you're spreading the weight nicely through the feet again. If the knees are winging wise, so engage the inner thighs, just draw the knees back in where the toes are pointing. If you're overly squeezing your glutes, you might want to release a bit there, because they'll still be working, but we don't need to overly work them. And then we'll slowly lower ourselves back down. So pretty much coming to our final posture. So feel free to do your own final posture if there's something you feel like doing. Otherwise we'll do one more fold, which should be further and be maybe, if we do plough, more intense for the upper portion of the back line. So otherwise we'll go for hugging the knees in, and you might get a bit of a stretch in your glutes, hamstrings. The next, so we'll start, this is the easier kind of position. Next would be to lie on your back, start to straighten the legs, and you might get more stretch then in the back of the legs. You can always flex the feet as well. Maybe even straighten the legs or bring them more in whilst pushing the hips down to increase the stretch. Then if you want to be a bit more upside down, we've got no neck issues, we can push into the elbows, catch the back with the hands so it curled up, and then take the time to bring yourself more into deeper stretch in the back, upper body, neck, upper back. You can start to bring the feet more and more behind, and then the hips more and more over. From there then you may end up straightening the legs, you may not, so don't worry, the feet may not rest on the floor, they might do, so just go for the feeling rather than what it should look like. So just when you're feeling the stretch without any pain, and where we can stay steady with our breath, comfortable in the body, so maybe a stretch but nothing that's too much. And then whenever we're ready to rest in Shavasana, if you feel you want a bit more here, or you fancy being more upside down, maybe go for a shoulder stand, or there's something that you might want to do, fish pose, or to open the front of the neck. There might be something you want to do before we come into Shavasana, so if there is, feel free to do that. Otherwise we'll control ourselves back down. You may want to lie with our knees bent, hugged in for a moment. And then we'll end up coming into Shavasana, but keep stretching how you feel first, otherwise. Okay, so whenever we do come to Shavasana, if you want to give the feet a rock, maybe turn the palms upwards, walk the shoulders under, close the eyes, and we'll just rest our bodies. And just start feeling yourself relaxing more and more here. So just noticing how we're feeling. Seeing how you're breathing. See if you can stay rather than getting too involved with any thought that comes up or any sensation in the body or anything going on around you. So sounds, maybe you might notice them still, but without getting too involved in them. This pratyahara, so withdrawing from the senses, so even though you'll still sense, we're not getting too involved with things that are going on around us, but we're not letting anything distract us, we're not distracted by anything. So the more we practice not reacting, so we can take that off the yoga mat as well into the world. So when things maybe seem crazy or things happen, we don't need to, we can choose how we respond and react, maybe in a more of a calm, relaxed way. So just start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Maybe deepening your breath. Stretching the arms behind your head or hugging the knees. And we just curl up over onto our right hand side. Stay there for a moment, giving yourself a nice hug. Also stimulating that right, more energetic side after that relaxation. And then from there we'll slowly come up to set into a comfortable, easy position. And whenever we're ready to, no rush, we can just take a breath in and stretch upwards. And on the exhale, we can bring our hands down in front. And thanks to everyone for joining. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me know if anyone's got any questions.